keep sinking into your blue, yeah, I keep sinking into your blue, stars, I keep seeing stars inside your eyes.
All right, guys, welcome back to the live stream on the MLB Innings YouTube channel and Come to Us USA Twitch channel. I'm your host, JayFish. We are joined by another special guest today, Will Smith of the Los Angeles Dodgers. How are we doing today, Will?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we appreciate you for coming on, and I'm honored. I'm a Dodgers fan. I got my Dodgers gear on. You're the first Dodgers player I've interviewed on here, so I'm excited about that. And real quick before we get started, guys, if you're watching the stream currently and you have any questions for Will, go ahead and leave them in the chat during the live stream because we will be doing a Q&A with him at the end. And so real quick, Will, get this thing started off. We do some rapid fire questions to start. It's the same thing every time. We want to just break the ice a little bit, get some questions to go off of, and then good from there. How does that sound?
That works. Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. So the first question we have for you is, what is your dream car?
Porsche 911.
Porsche 911. Okay, that's a good one. Next one, if you could bring three things with you in a post-apocalyptic situation, what would you bring?
Jeez.
You can take some time on this one. I know this one is something to think about.
Probably a gun, a knife, and a bunch of food if I could.
Okay, I'm getting some Walking Dead vibes right there, but
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got to stay protected. All right, next one. If you could eat only one meal the rest of your life, what would it be?
One meal. Ooh. Oh gosh, probably like a steak, some veggies, and I don't know, pasta or something with it. Or mac and cheese with it for sure.
Oh, that sounds good. Next one, console or PC in terms of gaming?
PC.
Oh, interesting. I would say we had Nick Senzel on last time. He went with the PS4. I didn't know if you would be a PC guy or not. So
yeah, it's easier to travel. So the laptop.
That makes sense. Now, is it like a gaming laptop that you use since you're traveling and stuff?
Yeah. Yep. It's a gaming
That
one.
makes
And
sense.
yeah, it's nice.
All right. And for the last one, if you weren't a professional baseball player, what would you be doing?
Oh gosh, hopefully a pro golfer maybe. I don't know.
I'm about to say Nick Senzel said the exact same thing last time as well. So we'll go off of golfing. Do you like to golf in the off season? We're in the off season right now. So have you golfed at all since then?
Yeah, I do. I play quite a bit in the off season. Yeah, I love it. I play some during the season too. We get an off day or in the morning sometimes. But yeah, I love to golf.
Now, do you like to golf with like family and friends, or do you like try and get competitive at all? Like, are you in any leagues or anything like that, or?
More just with friends and stuff. I don't really have time to do all the tournaments and all that stuff. So more just go out, have a good time. I'm still pretty competitive out there. It's not just like a total social thing for me, but yeah, it's just I don't know. I like going to the range, hitting balls, or anything really.
So you said that you like to golf a little bit during the season. Does that mess with your swing at all in baseball?
I think it helps me, actually. It helps my baseball swing. There's always that debate. Your golf swing hurts your baseball swing, your baseball hurts your golf swing. I think, the moves are too similar to hurt each other. I think they actually help you up. They sync you together a little bit. And honestly, the best thing about it is just making solid contact, most swings. Baseball, you can swing and miss every single time for 2 days and you feel horrible. Grab a golf club, go make some contact, and you feel a little better about yourself.
Yeah, we had Mike Trout back on in, I think, March, and I asked him the same question because he likes to golf a lot, and he was the same way. He was like, I actually think it helps me, where when I was playing baseball in high school and stuff, I was like, I never wanted to swing a golf club because I was afraid it would mess up my swing. And then after I was done playing baseball, I started getting into golf. But that makes sense. I mean, I think probably, what do you think is easier, hitting a golf ball or hitting a baseball?
I mean, hitting a golf ball is definitely, easier to just hit it. You start trying to shape the ball, hit it high, low, left, right, whatever. Consistently doing that, that's pretty tough to do. But it's something you can learn. Where hitting a baseball, I still think there's the element of you don't know what's being thrown at you. It's fastball, curveball, changeup, who knows what. And then you got to move it, and then hope the fielder doesn't catch it either. So I think hitting a baseball is way harder.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so hitting a baseball, who's the toughest pitcher to hit off of? And you don't have to give away this answer if you don't want. I know some guys have been reluctant to say that because they don't want to give anything like that.
I don't know. Just depends. Sometimes a guy you have no chance, and next time you face him, it's like, oh, I got this guy 9 times out of 10. It kind of varies. I feel like I don't know. I don't want to give him too much credit.
I'm gonna say, and so with you being a catcher as well, you get to catch some of the best guys ever thrown in the game, including Clayton Kershaw. Who's your favorite guy to catch? I guess. I mean, I know that could be tough to say, but like, who has the nastiest stuff? I should say, actually.
Oh gosh, nastiest stuff. Oh man, I think like Blake Trinin's up there. That slider is disgusting. And he's throwing 9-inch turbo sinkers off it and good cutter. Clayton Kershaw is obviously one of the best pitchers the last 15 years. Bueller's up there as well for sure. So yeah, I don't know. I've been fortunate enough to catch a lot of really good pitchers that have done really well too.
All right, and so growing up, I saw that you were a Boston Red Sox fan. Mm-hmm. How did that come about? Because I know you're from Louisville. So what made the Red Sox your favorite team growing up?
Yeah, so I've got family up in the Boston area. My grandma lives on the Cape, and then some cousins live around, just outside of Boston. So, yeah, I think, in Louisville, we didn't really have a pro team. The Reds were close, but I don't know, never really, I like Griffey and stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. The Red Sox made that run in 2004, and I was, 9 years old. And, yeah, I was just kind of hooked from right then, watching that comeback against the Yankees and then winning it. And so I was a fan from probably that moment on.
I'm gonna say, you mentioned Griffey. I'm from Cincinnati, so the Reds are one of my favorite teams as well. That's my favorite player of all time. Who is your favorite player of all time?
Probably David Ortiz. Just Red Sox fan. All the clutch hits he had for so many years. Yeah, he was probably my favorite growing up.
That's cool. And then so when you went to college, you also went to Louisville as well. So you stayed hometown. What made you go to Louisville? Did you have any other offers that you were considering, or did you know you wanted to stay home?
No, that was the last place I wanted to go, initially. And then, I just wanted to go out to school, another state, somewhere else. But once I walked on campus, met the coaches, saw their facilities, saw their offer, it was by far the best place for me, even though it was home and I didn't necessarily want to stay in Kentucky. I just wanted to go off. But no, I mean, the first week I was there, I was like, this is where I need to be. Love it here. Love the guys. I wouldn't have traded it for anything really.
So what other school would you have gone to? So if you didn't go to Louisville, what was your number one school that you were looking at outside of Louisville?
I mean, I really had that many offers. Like Kentucky offered me a walk-on spot, but they weren't like that interested in me, so I was kind of off that. University of South Florida made a decent offer, but that was really about it. So yeah, I wasn't like a big time recruit or anything like that.
All right. And so then when you got to the majors, you got drafted in 2016 in the first round by the Dodgers. And so what was the minor league like for you? Because you were there for a couple of years. You didn't get called up till 2019. Can you go through what that minor league time was like for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, you hear the horror stories of the minors and, bad housing, bad stadiums, locker rooms. Um, you obviously don't get paid very much as a minor league player, but, for me, I still moved pretty quickly for a position player, especially a catcher. And, I met a lot of great dudes that are still friends today, that are on the big league team with me. And then across the league, there was a bunch of big leaguers, in our 16 draft class. So, I was constantly surrounded by good players, good coaches, and, they really helped me develop as a player and be ready, for the big leagues when I did get called up. Um, credit to the Dodger player development staff for, helping me out so much and all that.
And then so you get called up in 2019, and I believe your first home run that you hit was a walk-off. I think
Yep.
maybe against the Rockies, if I'm correct. Maybe not. I
The
don't remember.
Phillies.
The Phillies, because then you hit one, I think, a few weeks later against the Rockies. That's what it was.
Yep.
So what was that like, being the first home run and a walk-off? Like, what were the emotions like? Because you have, hey, I hit a home run for the first time, but hey, I already hit a walk-off as well.
Yeah, that was, wild. It was, the reliever Neris, nasty splitters and all that. So yeah, I got, the pitch I was looking for was a splitter and got it in the air to left, got out. So running around the bases, I was excited, but also like, what do I do? I don't think I'd ever hit a walk in my life, a hit or homer or anything like that. So yeah, first homer, first walk off. Family was there, and yeah, it was just kind of surreal, crazy. Went by really fast, and yeah, I don't know. It was nuts. It was cool.
So you said you were sitting on the splitter. Now, are you sitting on one pitch every single time, or how does that? I mean, obviously early in the count, you're probably looking for your pitch, and then when you get to two strikes, are you just going off of what you do through scouting, what he throws the most, and then just adjusting? Like, take me through what a bat appearance is like.
Yeah, I mean, you come up with an approach before the game starts, before you even step in the box. That's kind of based off his pitch usage, where he throws the ball, what gets hit, what he strikes guys out with, what he gets missed on. There's a whole lot of factors. Is he a ground ball pitcher, a fly ball pitcher? How does his ball play? Is it 95 but it feels like 92? Is it 95 but it feels like 103? And you got to be ready to go. So you kind of take all those in, and then you kind of, for me, I just look in an area, whether that's up, down, in, out. You just kind of keyhole a guy that gives you, the best chance to, cover anything he throws, or, and then, you're just kind of, it's a give and a take. So I can handle this, I can handle that. I don't want to touch that. So I'm not going to swing at a ball. It's got to be closer. So I'm not going to swing at a ball away and just give it to him if he dots, 3 fastballs away. So there's a whole lot that goes into it before you even step in the box. And then once you get in the box, it usually goes to plan B, plan C really fast. Just compete, and it's make an adjustment as fast as you can and kind of stick with it and just compete and try your best almost, kind of.
So yeah, like I said, you made your debut in 2019, and then a year later you have the COVID season in 2020. You guys only play 60 games, but you guys make it to playoffs, and then next thing you know, you guys win the World Series. I think you set the Dodgers franchise record for, I think, 5 hits in a postseason game. How were you locked in that day? Like, how were you feeling? Like, did it feel like it was a beach ball? Like, can you go through what that was like? You had 5 hits. I mean, that's big in a postseason game.
Yeah, it was, against the Padres in the DS that year. Your first hit, your second at bat, you always feel a little better after you have a hit on the board, an RBI or whatever. But yeah, you got another hit, and then you're feeling pretty good, and got a few more. We were crushing them that game. I think, I don't remember what the final score was, but yeah, I mean, I know the 5th one was a double down the right field line, and you kind of realize it, but you don't realize you've had 5 hits because, I don't know, you don't really care. You just care about winning in the postseason. And for me, really, it's just, I don't know. I don't really think about that stuff too much, but yeah, that was really cool. And then I didn't know it was a record or anything like that until they interview you after we're celebrating all that.
And so in your second season, you win the World Series. What was that like? I mean, we have all-time greats that never got to win a World Series. Like, how much did that mean to you that early on with that group of guys?
Yeah, that's what you work for every year. You work, from spring training on through the whole season. You're grinding with those guys, and yeah, I mean that was a whole other thing because we were in the bubble, basically at the hotel and in the stadium, back and forth. Our families were there, couldn't leave, so you were really shut off from the outside world. So that was a whole new circumstance we had to deal with and overcome. So yeah, I mean, looking back, that was just a special team of special people that we just came together and we accomplished our goal, which is to win a World Series, and that means everything. That's all we really care about, year in to year out.
And so you guys, I mean, the Dodgers have been close in World Series coming up that point. I mean, you had the Astros and then the Red Sox, and you guys finally get that. Do you feel that being in the bubble in a shortened season gave you guys an advantage at all, or do you think it just happened to be your year? Because I know some people say, hey, towards the end of the season, guys get injured, you have pitch counts and everything, and guys get tired. And that has been some things that have affected you guys in your postseason runs over the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that takes away. I think that was honestly a harder year than past couple of years where we haven't had the whole delayed start to the season. Yeah, it's not 160 games, but those 60 felt like 160 games. I'll tell you that. You start up spring training, then you shut it down for 2 months. Guys' bodies were not ready for that, and they're not. We don't train for that. We train for 8-9 months, then you have 3 months off, and it's eight months straight. Not train, a couple months off, and right back at it a month later. So I think that made it a little bit tougher. Guys' arms were hanging, legs weren't there, and everything. Then yeah, I mean the postseason, the games, the series were also the same, and it was best of 5, best of 3, best of 7. And those games were 7 straight in a row instead of the days off. So honestly, I think it was a little bit tougher, and I'm a little biased, obviously, but that's kind of my opinion on it.
And so it was a shortened season. And what was that time off like for you? Like, were you still training by yourself, or like, what did you do during that time that you guys would have been playing the actual season?
Yeah, so we went, back home, and luckily I had a weight room in our house, and I was able to work out and stuff. I had a close group of friends that we'd go hit and throw together. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was 2 months we took off, and it's kind of a roller coaster because it was, one day you're here and all right, we're back at it in 2 weeks, and then the next, yeah, we're not playing until next spring training. And the next day it's up, we'll be back in 2 weeks. It was kind of, you didn't really know, and you're hearing all sorts of things, and stuff looks promising that we're gonna get back to play, and then stuff doesn't look promising at all. So it's kind of a mental roller coaster. Do you stay locked in? Pitchers were struggling, like, how much do I work up? When do I start really building my workload up? So it was more of a mental grind than the physical.
And then we also kind of had a weird off season this past off season as well, coming into the 2022 season with the lockout. Was it similar in that sense for you as well, or were you still training thinking, hey, we're going to have this season like that?
Yeah, I mean, that was, same kind of thing. There's a lot of negotiations going on and all that. You don't know when exactly the season's going to start, but, most guys treated it like a normal off season, and we're ready to go, February 15th, whatever it is, pitchers and catchers report, because that's when, we should. And if it was going to go past that, then guys would have adjusted. So luckily we only went a couple of days past that, normal, I guess a week past what we normally would have done. So it wasn't too big of a change, but yeah, you just go about it normal, and that's how I did it.
And so you talked about, I think when you got the 5 postseason hits, it was against the Padres, and then you guys obviously played them in the postseason this year. I gotta ask, what was that atmosphere like against them at their home stadium? Because they weren't at home back in what, 2020? And so I
Mhm.
mean, that stadium seemed electric. Like, what was it like playing at the Padres stadium in that offseason? I mean, that postseason game.
Yeah, it was, it was a good atmosphere. They were rowdy, they were loud, um, against us, obviously. Uh, yeah, they were fun games. I still take a postseason game in Dodger Stadium over anywhere, just for how loud it gets. But how crazy our fans and how much they love us. But yeah, I mean, those 2 games we had there, unfortunately, we let them get away. But yeah, they're still fun games to be a part, even though you're on the wrong side at the end of it.
And then going into this offseason, you are going to be playing in the 2023 World Baseball Classic, and I believe that's in March. Can you tell me, like, did they reach out to you? How did that work when you decided you want to play for the USA team?
Yeah, they reached out, and I think Real Muto and I will be the 2 catchers. So yeah, they reached out, and I wanted to do it. I've never had the opportunity to represent the U.S. On a baseball team or anything like that. So yeah, I'm excited. You saw the last one was in 2016, I think 2018. When Andrew Jones made a catch and all that. So it was, it's cool to watch, and I'm excited to be in part of it.
Now, does that change your off-season prep at all? I mean, it is during spring training, so it doesn't seem like the timing would really change much in the off-season. But how are you approaching this off-season and training for the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same off season for me. We'll still have a few weeks in Arizona before games start there, so I'll be able to catch a couple games, in the Cactus League. Usually those first 2 weeks you're only catching 4 or 5, maybe 6 innings. You're not really catching 7 to 9 so that last week. So I'll have to ramp that up a little bit, just the workload. But other than that, I'll just treat it like a normal off season. And yeah, I'll be ready to go.
And so how are they going to divide up the playing time with you and JT? Like, are you guys going to switch days, or like have they talked about how that's going to work yet in terms of workload?
No, I have no idea. The manager will make the lineup, and that's what it's going to be. But I haven't even talked to DeRosa much, the manager, and just because they're letting us finish our season, make our postseason run. But I'm sure they'll reach out here soon. Next couple weeks or January, and kind of get a better feel and I'll do all that.
And then also you're joined by Betts and then former Dodger Trey Turner, where we don't know where he's going yet. How excited are you to play with those guys as well in the World Baseball Classic?
Oh yeah, it'll be cool. Yeah, I mean Trey. Yeah, we don't know where he's going to end up. I'd love for him to come back and be a Dodger. But he's got to do what's best for him. And then Mookie. Yeah, I mean, I love playing with Mookie every day. He's special. He's fun to watch out in right field. Watch his at bats. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, it'll be especially those 2 guys, and then even Dino will be the third base coach. So it'd be cool to to have some familiar faces around, and then yeah, I mean that whole lineup's going to be stacked.
And so you talked about watching bets and everything. What is like, who has given you the most in terms of mentorship and taught you since you've gotten caught up in majors, or since even in the minors? Like, who's been the biggest, I guess, mentor for you since you've made it to the league?
For me, it's probably been JT Justin Turner. Uh, he's just this kind of guy he is. He's been around for a while. He really knows what he's doing in the box. So yeah, I'm gonna try to take as much away from him as he'll give me. And yeah, just he's just in the cage talking to him, watching him work. Or when I'm hitting the cage, he's giving me tips. Or after at bats, he's got something to say. And so yeah, he's always kind of been there for me. And then other stuff too, for sure. But overall, it's been a lot of guys that I've been able to be around that have helped me develop and kind of grow as a big leaguer.
All right, so changing subjects, I want to go back to the video games, console versus PC. You said you're a PC guy. Now, are
Mhm.
you into video games, or is it just more of a thing you just do it to kill some time or something like that?
More just to kill time. I enjoy playing them, but I'm not a hardcore gamer or anything for sure.
Well, when you do play, what games do you like to play? Like, are you a sports game guy? Or do you like playing shooters? Like, what type of genre do you normally play?
Yeah, I like shooter games, Call of Duty. I like the PGA 2K game a lot. What else do I play a little bit? Those have been kind of the last two games I've played the last year. Just those two, really.
Now, was that the PGA 2K21, or is it the new one, the 23 that just came out with Woods?
The 21. I haven't got the new one yet.
I'm gonna say my brother, he played a lot of the 2K21, and he got 2K23. He said 23 is pretty good, so I would check that one out if you get time as well, if you like to play the PGA games.
I think they have like the real golf, like Tigers in it, a couple other
Yep.
guys where the 21 doesn't have that. It's all like creative players.
Yep, and I think they have like Michael Jordan and some other guys as well, and I think you can
Uh,
actually play as them now. I don't think you could play as them before, like if there's any guys in there. So that's
okay,
pretty cool. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
sick. Check it out.
Alrighty, and so one thing I wanted to bring up that's kind of been looming over ever since this got announced that you were coming on the stream. So there's a few other Will Smiths in the world. We have the actor, and then we also have another one that will be the pitcher that was, I believe, with the Astros this past season. I gotta ask, how did the Will Smith Oscar controversy affect you? Because you guys share the same name, and I know that people had been confused a little bit. Did that affect you at all?
I mean, it doesn't affect me, but that was during spring training last year. So yeah, I came into the locker room the next day, and there's media guys asking me, not really even asking me questions, but they're making remarks, or teammates making remarks. Uh, yeah, I mean, some more just joking towards me, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of distanced myself from that whole situation. I didn't want to take a side or anything like that. Yeah, I steered clear of it, but yeah, it didn't affect me too much because we share the same name.
And so Will Smith is an actor, and so that makes me ask, like, are you a movie guy at all? Like, do you like going to movie theaters or anything like that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I love movies, love TV shows, and yeah, I mean, I haven't the last couple of years because of COVID gone to the movies that much, but yeah, I like going to the theater for a good movie or two.
So, have you been to the movie theaters at all this year? Is there any certain movie that you've seen that you like the best this year or anything like that?
Yeah, the new Top Gun one. Uh, yeah, that was one of my favorite movies all time. That's up there for me for sure. I went a couple times. The team went actually once. Pretty much everybody on the team went together for a showing, and then like a week later, I took my wife to see it just because like, you got to go see it, and then I want to watch it again. So saw it twice in theaters.
I must say I've seen it multiple times as well. I saw it 4 times in multiple theaters. I thought that was a really good movie.
Yeah,
Now, are there any movies that are coming out here soon that you would like to see or anything like that that's on your book? I know the Black Panther just came out. I don't know if you're a Marvel guy or not or anything.
yeah. I'm a Marvel guy. I don't know. I haven't really seen any movies. I was more excited for Yellowstone that came out last Sunday. Yeah.
That's with
So I
Kevin
was like,
Costner, right?
yep, Kevin Costner, the Yellowstone Ranch, and yeah, we started watching that last year. And I don't know. I love that show, so I was excited for that one.
And speaking of Kevin Costner, he's done a few good baseball movies. I mean, have you seen any baseball movies? Do you have a favorite baseball movie? I'm assuming you have.
Yeah, I mean, favorite one, favorite one for me is probably The Sandlot, just because I watched it a bunch as a kid. Um, it was always take a family road trip. That was always one of the movies we would play, in the back seat. But yeah, like Field of Dreams, great movie, Kevin Costner. What else? There's so many good ones. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, no, I've seen them all.
And so you mentioned the Field of Dreams, and now we got the Field of Dreams game. We had the Yankees and White Sox the first year. That was an absolutely crazy game. And then I think we had the Reds and Cubs this year. Would
Mhm.
you love to chance to play in that game? I don't know who actually is supposed to be playing next year, but
Yeah, I know it's not us, I don't think, unless they haven't announced it. But yeah, I think that'd be cool. It's in the middle of a cornfield at the where they film the movie and all that. So yeah, that'd be sweet. I don't know. That'd be cool. I'd be all for it.
and so I want to get into some more off-season stuff. So do you like to travel at all or anything like that? Like what do you have any hobbies or anything? Like since we're in the off-season, what's your off-season like?
So yeah, this off season is a little different because we have a newborn with us, first daughter, about a month old now. So a lot less time for us to do more traveling and fun stuff. But yeah, off season love to golf. I'm a big hunter, so I like to do that. I haven't probably won't get to this off season much. Um, what else? Yeah, just kind of hang out with family too. You don't really get to see them much in the off season or during the season, so see them a little more in the off season. They're coming out to us this Thanksgiving this week, so we're excited about that. What else? We live in Vegas now, so there's a bunch of good restaurants, and we like checking those out, going down to the Strip and checking them out, or the ones around us. So yeah, I don't know, kind of stay busy, travel a little bit. We got a trip to Hawaii this off season, so I'm looking forward to that. I've never been, but yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to Hawaii too. That's one of my top places. But you said you like to hunt. What animals do you like to hunt?
I grew up more hunting deer in Kentucky whitetail, but I love to waterfowl hunt, and I would love to I don't know, go on a backcountry hunt where you're camping out for 4 or 5 days, trying to find an elk or something like that. So I don't know.
N- Now, what's waterfall hunting? I've never heard of that before. I may just not be
Uh,
cultured.
Waterfowl is like ducks,
Oh,
geese,
okay.
birds, really.
I gotcha. I used to play the hunting game at the restaurants where you would have the
Oh
guns
yeah,
and you shoot. I would say that's about as much hunting as I've done. But
yeah.
so in terms of hunting, what you said your favorite food is steak. You would love to do that. Like, but do you have a favorite stadium food or anything like that? Being going baseball theme, like, have you tried any of the Dodger dogs or anything like that? Like, do you have a favorite stadium food?
No, I haven't. I haven't even tried a Dodger dog, which is
What?
embarrassing because I've been a Dodger for 6 years now. Um, I don't know. We don't really eat stadium food. We're never like up in the stands during a game. We're always underneath. Uh, but like Philly, they're always making like Philly cheesesteaks in the clubhouse there, and that's guys love those. Those are great. Um, San Diego is great for like fish tacos and stuff like that. So it's more like that stuff. You get excited for what's in the clubhouse when you're going there.
I just can't believe you never tried a Dodger dog. I went out
I know.
to LA for the All-Star game this year and I tried all of them. I
Did
think the
you?
best one's probably just the normal one, just throwing some ketchup and mustard, but
Yep.
man, that surprises me. That
I
surprises me.
know. I'm ashamed to even say it, but I haven't had one.
Okay, so I would talk about favorite food at stadiums. What's your favorite stadium to play at? I mean, you could say Dodger Stadium, but I mean, if you go on the road, like where would you like to play? Like where's your favorite place to play?
Yeah, Dodger Stadium by far is my favorite. It's the biggest one. Um, Obviously, we get to play there 80 games, and I love playing in front of our fans. It's perfect weather every single night. But yeah, other stadiums, I like going to Colorado. I just think it's a cool stadium. You got the mountains there. Don't necessarily enjoy playing there as far as like how it makes your body feel. But just, the scenery is cool. I think Atlanta's, really nice stadium. It's a newer one. Great visiting clubhouse, good cage and all that. So that's always important and kind of helps rise this, the stadium in your book. And then I was playing in New York too against the Mets. It's just always a fun atmosphere, good games, lively crowd, and to New York too. So it's good restaurants and all that.
Now, where's Fenway on the list? Because you grew up loving the Boston Red Sox. Like, what was it like playing there for the first time?
I've never played there. We haven't. Never.
Oh,
been
you
there
guys
to play
haven't
them.
played there?
No,
Oh man, I did not realize that. Because I know with you guys being in different leagues.
Yeah, the last time the Dodgers went there was in 19. But I think I'd have been optioned at that point or something when they went. But I think we go this year. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Green Monster. Watching a bunch of their games growing up. I went to a few, as a kid. So that'll be special playing there for sure.
And so I want to move on to something else. So we had Halloween recently, and I was taking a gander through your Instagram, and I saw that last year, and I don't know if it was for Halloween or not, but that you dressed up as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which obviously Will Smith played, which is kind of funny with that whole controversy. Now, what brought that upon you to go with that outfit?
Yes, that was like you said, a team dress up. Our whole team dresses up, coaches, staff, players. They no longer just do the rookie dress up; it's everybody. So yeah, it's just dress up what you want to wear. Some guys will do, a couple of guys and they'll put together something. In 19, I did Talladega Nights with Barnes and Russell Martin. So yeah, that year, I don't know, someone said, hey, you should do this. I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. So, you get on Amazon and start ordering pieces of the costume and just kind of put it together and yeah. But, when it comes to that, you're on a plane, so you're going for comfort too. So it's kind of balancing funny or whatever with comfort.
Now, did you choose that by yourself, or did other people suggest that or want you to dress up as Fresh Prince?
I pretty much picked it. I think just talking to guys, I was like, oh, I had this idea. Maybe I'll do this. Like, oh, you should definitely do that. So, yeah.
Now, did you dress up at all this year? Did you guys do something like that this year at all?
Yeah, we do it every year. This year I did Alan from The Hangover. Got wig, glasses, got the baby, in the carrier. But again, it was just like a comfort over was the main thing for me. So I was just wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and the wig was kind of itchy, but yeah, it was just a nice, comfortable costume. Funny too.
And so one last thing I want to hit on before we go on to the Q&A session with the questions from chat. So I saw that you have a foundation called Catching Hope Foundation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, there's the logo. But, my wife and I started it in 21. It's kind of started. We were probably looking a few years out, but stuff kind of fell into our lap where it was like, all right, we need to do this now. All the legal stuff. But my wife was a first grade teacher for a few years, kind of an at-risk school in Louisville, Kentucky. So, it's a foundation that we want to help kids and kids in school, and just kind of be able to give back and help those kids that don't have all the opportunities. A lot of people do have. So whether that's school supplies, sports equipment for recess, for gym class, health and wellness programs, it's kind of a broad spectrum, and it's just something we feel like we're in a place that we can help, and we can raise money, we can give money to these kids and help them, and that's kind of the platform we have. And I think you have Clayton Kershaw, Justin Turner, and all these older guys that have these foundations that are doing a whole lot of good, and that just makes myself and several other younger guys want to do something, and kind of continue on that legacy of Dodger players helping out the LA community, their hometown communities. And it's just kind of important to us and important to me.
Yeah, when I saw that was really cool, and I wanted to talk about that on here and help spread the word about that. I think that's awesome, especially in the times
Yeah.
we've been in recently. I mean, there's always people out there to help. So.
Yep, for sure.
And so now I want to move on to the Q&A because we got a lot of questions, and I want to try and get to as many of these as possible. Everyone's been hanging out with us, and I would love to get them involved as well. So I think what we'll do, first question, we'll start with Max Langer. As arguably one of the best catchers in baseball, how do you always manage to control the pitching staff, the defense, and hit in one singular game? I guess manage all of that stuff in a game.
Yeah, it's a lot for sure. For me, it's coming up with a good routine before the game. It's putting in my scouting of their hitters, and also how we're going to attack that night with our pitchers and how they're going to go about it, being really prepared that way. And then also the other side where I'm scouting their pitchers and coming up with a game plan there. And then we always have pitcher catcher meetings with the starter. We have hitter meetings with all of our hitters, the coaches. So you always feel prepared before the game. You have a lot of information thrown at you, but for me, it's just kind of being able to simplify it, make decisions based off of the information, off of feel, off of what the pitcher can do that night, what I can do that night in the plate, where's my swing. So yeah, it's just kind of it's balancing the two. If you're 0 for 4, I still feel like I can help our team win by calling a great game, blocking the ball, throwing a runner out. And the same, I can have 4 hits and drive in runs, but my main job is to drive those pitchers and also to drive in runs. So it's just not getting too high, not getting too low, and yeah, just doing the best job I can do.
Nolan Bushman, what is it like playing for the Dodgers as their catcher?
It's awesome. We have the best pitching staff, best coaches, the best lineup. And yeah, it's, to be right in the middle of the lineup between such great hitters, special, and it's, really cool to be a part of. So yeah, I feel, very fortunate to be with an organization that wins a lot of games, that's committed to winning, and, we got a real shot at winning a World Series year in and year out.
And so I kind of already asked you about this question in terms of the MLB stadiums, but I guess it's more specific. 36 into 6 says, what MLB stadium do you like hitting in the most?
Probably Colorado. Just because the ball flies a little better there, goes a little farther, but also, the fences are farther back, so the outfield's huge. So it just feels like there's a few more hits there than the other stadiums. There's a little more grass for the ball to find.
Yeah, that was the stadium I had in mind. I like playing there on MLB The Show as well. Royals fan 7707 says, what is life like as an MLB player? Also, what do you do in your free time? We've kind of already hit on this, but.
Yeah, I mean, being a major league player is a dream, truly. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of, sacrifice, especially for, like my family. It's 162 games in 180 days and spring training and playoffs. And it's a lot of hours, but it's, you don't feel like it's a job. It's, you're playing a kid's game. It's fun. when it comes down to it, you're just playing baseball and you're having a good time, and it's I don't know, it's a great job, job, I guess, as you want to say it, but it really doesn't feel like one.
So Ben asked this, and you probably won't answer it, but who is your your favorite teammate?
Favorite teammate? I love all of my teammates.
As I would say that's what I was expecting to hear. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. It truly is we have a really good clubhouse, a lot of great dudes, and a lot of good teammates.
And Billy asked, what was your favorite home run that you had from the 2022 season?
2022 season. Oh man, I don't even know. I didn't have any walk-offs or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know what my favorite was. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which one specifically, honestly.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
figured that one would be a tough one. No, I figured that'd be a tough one, but I wanted to at least ask it for him. Justin Jefferson fan and Mahomes fan asks, Will Smith, this is Justin. I'm a Dodger fan. How do you feel about Tyler Anderson going to the Angels?
I'm happy for him because he deserves. He came to us on a 1-year deal, looking to have a great year and earn himself a multi-year deal, which he did. I would have loved to see him back as a Dodger. We got along great. I really enjoyed catching him and just kind of watching him work. He just was a competitor, kind of made stuff happen, in his favor and our favor, and just good dude, good teammate. Really good pitcher, but so yeah, I'm sad to see him go, but I'm happy for him too.
I'm with you on that. Thomas Matava says, Will, if you could start at another position on the diamond, where would you want to play?
I don't know. I get to DH a few games every year. I always like that. It's kind of a mental break. But you're still like involved in the game. But I don't know. I like being involved a lot more than DH is. But also the infield, like growing up, I played a lot of infield, pitched and all that. And then the minors played some infield as well. I don't know. It's kind of stressful out there because you're used to, every pitch being thrown at you and you're catching it, or, you're just locked in, where the infield, you might not catch a ball for 6 innings and you're just, I don't know. For me, it's like a totally different mindset and a different feel. And I don't know, I would get anxiety out there, like, oh, when's the ball coming? No, when's the ball coming? No, not this time. When's it coming? So I don't know. I like catching.
AK's Gaming asks, hey, Will, who is the funniest player in the clubhouse?
Funniest player? Probably Edwin Rios. The guy's he's something. He's special. It's Eddie.
Roots Ruler says, hey, Will, my kid is 9 years old and he's a catcher for Little League. Any advice?
9 years old? I mean, at this point, just have fun. I look back at my Little League days, with some friends. It was, a lot of fun. Obviously you want to, become a better baseball player. You want to play the game the right way, learn the right stuff. Really create good fundamentals when you're a kid. But yeah, I mean, just keep at it, whether it's baseball or golf or anything in life, just, I don't know. My best bet is just keep working. Best advice, just keep working and, just trust in yourself and, be confident and just go for, whatever you want to do.
Now, I'm not sure if you already answered this question or not. We did talk about it a little bit. Darren Fisher asks, who is your favorite pitcher to catch and why?
Favorite pitcher to catch and why? It's probably Bueller, Walker. He grew up in Kentucky as well, so we kind of have that connection, knowing each other and playing against each other a couple times when we were, in high school and all that. But he's a really good pitcher, got really good stuff, competitor. They can do a lot of different things, which makes it fun to call a game because you can attack hitters in different ways and really keep them on their toes. That's what makes him so good and so dominant. But yeah, he's probably one of my favorite. Obviously, love catching Julio, catching Kirsch, catching TA was awesome this year. Tyler Anderson. Fortunately, we got a really good staff and a lot of good pitchers that I get to catch, and they're really fun to catch.
Rayo asked, "Are you watching the World Cup?" And I think it started actually yesterday or today. So
no, I'm not. I'll tune in on like Sports Center, and maybe when the U.S. team plays, I might tune in and watch it. But I don't know. I've never been a huge soccer fan.
Yeah, me neither. I know. I think the U.S. played Wales today, but I've never really been into soccer either. I think they tied. I don't think they've won. Really? I think I saw a stat that they haven't won a World Cup game since 2014, because I think that they got eliminated in the first round in 18. So I don't know if that's all true though. So that's just going off of what I've seen. Let's see. Next up, Troy, and I'm not sure I'll say the last name, but it says, "Hi, Will. What advice would you give to high school players wanting to get to the next level?" I know you kind of already talked about this with the catcher, the 9-year-old.
Yeah. So, for high school, I mean, just, kind of go about it the right way. Work at being a good teammate, work at getting to be a better baseball player, developing your swing, developing your fundamentals, really, really grind in the cage, find your swing, find what works for you, try different stuff. Just learning from your coaches, honestly. That's one of the first things that the college coaches ask about players. They ask coaches, how is he as a teammate? How is he, is he coachable? I think, it's all the little stuff. Obviously they're going to look at all the talent you have, how hard you can throw, how far you can hit baseball and all that, and your hit tools and all that. But college coaches want players they can trust and they can rely on, and that aren't going to mess up off the field or anything like that. So yeah, my best advice is just be a good teammate, work at it as hard as you can, and whenever that opportunity comes to get a college offer or just an opportunity really to play in college, jump at it and go all in. And that's kind of what I did. So yeah.
So 36 into 6 also asks, who would you love to play with that's not a Dodger?
Who would I want to play with that's not a Dodger? I don't know. I mean, big free agents right now are like Judge or DeGrom or Trey Turner that would come back. I don't know. Bring all three of those back. That'd be awesome. Or one or two of them or whatever. So I'm going to say those guys now, just being hopeful.
And you mentioned Judge real quick. What are your thoughts on the season he had and recently get announced as the AL MVP?
Yeah, I mean, he was, I definitely think he should have won the MVP. There's definitely the debate with Ohtani being the two-way guy, but, he hit 62 home runs, set the AL record in homers this year. It was just, every day it seemed like you turn on the TV in the clubhouse and he hit another homer or 2 homers. It was crazy. So yeah, I mean, that was cool to watch. Fortunately we'd have to play him in all this years, so none of them came against us. But yeah, I mean, that was a special year, and he did it at the right time too. He's going to have a lot of money coming his way too.
Yeah, I mean, with Ohtani too, he's in a league of his own, I feel like, in terms of that. So I feel like that's a guy, he's kind of like LeBron James. I mean, that's a guy, honestly, he could win the MVP every year. I mean, there's just no one like him. So
yeah,
Tony asks, have you ever caught Yeah. Tony asks, have you ever caught a knuckleball pitcher? And if so, how hard is it?
Yeah, we had in the minor leagues, we had two of them, kind of, double triple A. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Some of them are just not good, and then all of a sudden they'll clip one right, and you have no idea where it's going. I don't remember me missing any balls or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, like if I had to catch, Tim Wakefield or something, that would have been probably a whole different story. That'd have been cool. I don't know. Be interesting.
Cloroxo asks, Will Smith, do you like collecting baseball cards?
So as a kid, I did. I remember getting packs and for birthday or Christmas or whatever, or going to the store. I had a couple binders full of cards. Probably still have them somewhere or in my parents' house. I don't know, but yeah, not anymore. I probably grew out of that when I was like 9 or 10, and really just wanted to play baseball.
Ray Red asks, how's it being a new dad, and do you still do all the cooking at home?
Yeah, definitely do all the cooking at home, pretty much. But yeah, no, being a new dad it's awesome. It's special. It's crazy. You're holding your daughter, and it's I don't know. It's kind of surreal at times still, but yeah, I wouldn't change any of it. It's just feel very fortunate and special, and she is perfect.
And then Larry Justice asks, who do you think Dansby Swanson will follow? Or no, Will, do you think Dansby Swanson will follow in Freddie Freeman's footsteps and become a Dodger next year?
I have no idea. There's a few really good shortstops on the market right now. I'm sure we're going after at least one or two of them, trying to get one of them. But yeah, I don't know. He's a really good player though.
I think this might be one of the last ones we have time for. Kim asks, which one do you prefer, Silver Slugger or Gold Glove? And I'm sure awards are not your main thing to worry about, but
yeah, I truly don't care about the awards or anything like that. To me, those don't really mean. I mean, they mean something, but to me, they don't really mean anything. I would rather just win a World Series or win a game that day or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're both like the two awards, and hopefully I win. I don't know. I would love to win one over two of them, but truly don't really care if I do or not.
I guess a better question to go off of that is, do you, as a catcher, do you feel defense is more important or offense in terms of hitting? I guess that's a better one, not including the awards.
Yeah, I mean, I think defense is more important for a catcher. And the ability to call a game, to have the pitchers trust you, and that relationship is probably the most important thing on the baseball field. So yeah, I mean, that relationship takes priority over what you do at the plate, for sure, by far. But I also don't think that means you don't have to produce as a catcher. I think that's a responsibility, and I think for me, I'm right in the middle of the lineup, so I'm trying to put together good at bats each and every time and drive guys in.
And I think that's pretty much all we have time for today. And I mean, we had lots of questions. There's a few I didn't was able to get to, but well, we appreciate you coming on today. And is there anything you have to say to our fans or your fans before we head out?
No, thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to next year. We'll be back in the hunt for a World Series. I'm excited to see all the fans out at Dodger Stadium, and love when it gets packed there. There's no better place to watch a game or to play a game for me. Yeah, just excited for next year and seeing all the fans at spring training.
I'm looking forward to it as well, especially as a Dodgers fan. I hope you guys can bring home another ring next year, and hopefully I get to catch a game maybe in Cincinnati when you guys come here and play the Reds. So,
yep. Sweet.
All right. Well, that's going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and we will be back next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as well. Thank you again, Will, for coming on. And that's going to do it for today, guys.